in terms of health, I believe that the two most important things that we have control of will be things that we ingest. One is primarily a very basic of human life, and that is food. But the thing is, it's not about security, it's not about procurement, it's about the source of food. The second one is the medicines that we take. Are we talking about synthetics? Are we talking about nature identical components, substances? Or are we taking some natural remedies? Okay, for the food, for the genetically modified ones, when you tamper with genetic codes, you actually also tamper with the processes that these genes are able to control, and that would affect the substances that they produce. For the other parts of food sourcing, it's the farming practices. Are they laden with pesticides, with inorganic and synthetic fertilizers? Some are even sprayed with chemicals to prolong their shelf life. And these are things that we have to take in consideration when we buy what we take, what we feed our children, what we feed our family. Does that really nourish our body? But yes, for the meantime, yes. But the thing is, it affects us long term, and it is detrimental to our health. For the medicines, I want to go to the natural ones. When I mentioned, you see, we have a long tradition. It's since ancient times we have been dependent on plants for medicine. Actually, modern medicine started manufacturing pharmaceutical drugs from plants themselves. In terms of processing, it's really hit and miss before, but the researchers now let you know which part of the plant to use, how to extract them. But for the others who does not have that accessibility to modern medicine, like people in the Philippines, or even people who want an alternative medication, meaning a more traditional one, because really the traditional ones are actually the folk medicine, even the Chinese medicine. It's been there for thousands of years. Romans, from Plato, Aristotle, the Greeks, they had so many herbal preparations in the Middle Ages. Up to now, even in the Philippines alone, we have the herbolario before, which is the albulario or the herbalist. Right now, the Philippines has a lot of medicinal plants, and actually there's an encyclopedia of medicinal plants by Mr. Texon and Mrs. Ludovina de Padua of UPLB. These are very useful before, in terms of their generation. It is still very informative now. But the thing is, the actual distribution of these plants are not really accessible to a lot of us. We are how many thousands of islands, and the thing is, some plants are just indigenous to a certain location. Added to that, when you procure that plant, how do you store it? How do you keep it? How do you transport it? How long will it have its effectivity? And then there's the question of how do you actually use it. These books contain the essential preparations like If it's a decoction, infusion, concoction, do you steep it in water, hot water, or alcohol, or in fat? But the thing is, it's not really practical for home use. Of course, we have companies now like manufacturing lagundi or mangosteen, but some plants like duhat bark or guyabano leaves, they're not commercially viable, so there's not much to be, well, I don't know, there's no economic value for maybe manufacturers. So that's the end of it. That's the end of the line for that kind of treatment, for that kind of alternative medication. For the other plants, like I said, it's not accessible. We can have pansit-pansitan. It says there pansit-pansitan or alagaw or banaba. But where do you get it? These are not things that you can just find in your backyard, and you cannot order them online. So these are actually very, very difficult and challenging, at least. At one point in my life, just to make sure that I would get a good supply of food that I can trust, is to plant them myself, ourselves, my family, or myself, even though just by myself. I actually really planned it, and with that, I actually also wanted to plant herbs, medicinal herbs. I have a background in botany. I had 5 courses in botany, from classification to ecology to preparation of economic botany, the preparation even for medicinal herbs. But the thing is, there would be very, very limited activity in that, in terms of what I can do. I'm not kidding. I have a lot of literature. I'll show you later. I'll just take pictures. Well, anyway, for that part, this is my concern, and I'm very, very happy that there's an alternative now. Well, it's been available outside of the Philippines before, actually in some countries, but now it has come to the Philippines, and I really just want to share it with you to spread the awareness that there is something that we can do, and that people are actually doing it now, and you can have control. Take that back, a part of yourself that you can actually protect from harm. I would want to share that this with you more, but right now I have to cut it short so that I can easily upload this. Okay, so later.